WTOL 11 News is 6. I'm Michael Sandlin. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We'll get to all of our top stories in just a moment, but first, how about this warm up today? I can finally walk outside without pulling my coat a little tighter around me, but is it going to last? Well, John Birchfield has the answer.
Well, Michael, it's going to be warm tomorrow, but it's going to be rainy as well, especially during the morning time. So I hope you soaked up this Sunday sun. The morning is going to be rainy with amounts around ½ an inch expected, but the afternoon should be pretty nice tomorrow with highs near 50 and mainly dry weather. How about this? We're at 54 right now. There is a little bit of a breeze, but it's the type of breeze that gets you thinking springtime, even though winter hasn't even officially started yet. Dry weather being reported on satellite and radar, but I am keeping my sights on 2 areas of low pressure, one of which is producing some snow in the upper Midwest, the other rain towards Memphis. We are going to get the effects of some of that rain that is going to make for a soggy start to your Monday morning. Dry weather through midnight. After midnight, if you're a light sleeper, you're going to hear those raindrops. If you're getting the kids ready for school tomorrow, make sure the rain gear is at the ready because it is going to be a soaker to begin your Monday. How much rain to expect and when we dry out, coming up in your full forecast.
All right, John, we'll see you then. An update to a shooting that happened last night in an East Toledo neighborhood. Toledo police tell us 2 men were hospitalized following an altercation on Arden Place shortly after 11 p.m. Police say one of the men was shot at least once in the torso and rushed to the hospital. The other had been injured from an assault and was transported to the hospital with unknown injuries. Detectives on scene told WTOL everyone is expected to survive. What led to the incident is still under investigation. We'll keep you updated on air and online as we learn more. Body camera video from New Jersey State Police shows the arrest of Sean Higgins, the driver accused of fatally striking Columbus Blue Jackets star hockey player Johnny Gaudreau and his brother Matthew. The duo were riding bicycles back in August when Higgins attempted to pass a slower vehicle on the right and hit the cyclists. The brothers had been spending time with family on the night before their sister's wedding and when they went out for a bike ride. Johnny Gaudreau was mourned across the league along with his brother, who played in the AHL and ECHL. U.S. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg will visit Monroe, Michigan tomorrow. Secretary Buttigieg will join Michigan leaders for a news conference at the River Raisin Bridge. In October, US DOT announced $196 million in funding to help replace the deteriorating River Raisin Bridge along I-75. The project aims to improve safety and the efficiency of freight movement along the U.S.-Canada trade corridor. The project will support an estimated 4,500 jobs. Well, Toledo wants to hear from you when it comes to reconnecting neighborhoods. The city received a $20 million grant to reconnect the Junction and Englewood neighborhoods to uptown and downtown Toledo. This means Dorr and Adams Streets will be getting some upgrades in the coming years. Director of Economic Development Brandon Selhorst says meetings over the next year will not only focus on the changes in the area, but also the future water and road work on nearly 38 city blocks.
Hearing from the people that actually live and work in these communities about what they would like to see, where they would like to see it, the types of beautification and streetscape that they'd like incorporated to the project is really important.
You can find more information on the project and dates for upcoming input meetings on our Links Mentioned tab over at WTOL.com. Toledo Public Schools is hosting a job fair on Tuesday. On-site interviews will be held for several positions, including substitute teachers, custodial workers, paraprofessionals, and more. The event runs from 3 to 7 p.m. at the Administration Building located on North Summit Street. The Wood County Health Department is helping stop the spread of germs in the community thanks to some new equipment. After receiving an $8 million grant from the Ohio Department of Health, the department will be fighting to prevent infectious diseases with a Moonbeam 3, a UVC light that disinfects surfaces on a greater scale. As public health recovers after the COVID pandemic, the Wood County Health Department hopes to make communities disease-free.
Wood County Health Department would really like to be able to invest these grant resources into our community to help prevent all types of infectious diseases. We really want to keep the environment around people as healthy as possible so they can enjoy going about and doing their daily things.
The new Moonbeams are expected to be available in 2025. Well, kids in Findlay got a chance to know their police officers by joining them on a shopping trip. Hosted by the Fort Findlay Lodge 20 Foundation, police officers helped 150 kids choose their holiday gifts and clothes at Meijer in the hopes of helping kids in need in the area and growing relationships with them just in time for the holiday season.
By the end, we're getting fist bumps and giving us hugs, and we absolutely love it. And these are experiences that build well into the future, these relations with officers. A lot of times we'll be walking around school, we'll see the same kids, they'll come running over to us, give us a hug, a fist bump again, saying, hey, I remember you from Cops and Kids Shopping.
The gifts are funded by public donations to the Fort Finley Fraternal Order of Police 20. And to find out more on how to donate to the cause, you can visit the links mentioned tab at WTOL.com. With Christmas coming up, you may be wondering, how were the holidays spent back in the day, say the 1800s? Fort Megg's historic site in Perrysburg opened their fort doors today to a holiday-themed experience in early America during the War of 1812. Also giving people the chance to learn about the smaller second Fort Riggs that was near the Maumee River.
It is something for people to experience the fact that, oh geez, Christmas or the holidays were a great deal different, and we simply can't celebrate in the same way. But it's our job as historians to help educate people on how things were, and this event is a perfect opportunity to do that.
The event included storytelling, hearthside baking, games, and much more. And don't forget, you still have the chance to give back. We're still taking donations for the WTOL 11 Gift of Joy Toy Drive. The gifts you donate go to children in foster care right here in Lucas County. The biggest need is for babies 3 and under and for teenagers. And on Thursday, we'll be holding our annual toy drop right here at our station in downtown Toledo. That's happening all day long. You can come out and bring a new unwrapped toy with you to WTOL 11 on Summit Street to help bring smiles to kids in Lucas County foster care. And if you can't make it then, you have until the 20th to either drop off a donation or send it to us here right at the station. Just text the word JOY to 419-248-1100 for a list of all the drop-off spots and information on how to order online and click it, ship it, and gift it. Coming up, crowds celebrated in Syria as the president and officials left the country. What led up to the president resigning? That's coming up next.
Well, hope you enjoyed this Sunday sunshine. Sure was a beautiful day, and our temperature's still at 54, but it's going to be a rainy Monday morning. How much rain to expect? Coming up next. Well, hard to believe Christmas is just a few weeks away with weather that felt like spring today. You're going to need to trade out the sunglasses for the umbrella with widespread morning rainfall. It's going to be a really mild morning, but it's going to be a washout for sure, so the rain gear will be needed at the bus stop. When the kids are getting off the school bus, though, it's going to be a much milder feel. We're still going to be in the low 50s, but it is going to be cloudy and overcast for your Monday. Current temperature is at 54, a balmy and spring-feeling day. There has been a little bit of a breeze out of the southwest to develop, but a milder breeze as opposed to that colder wind we felt earlier on in the week. Here's a look at the high temperature map for today. You'll notice in Erie and Huron counties wasn't quite as warm, but how about that Findlay? Hope you enjoyed those near 60-degree temperatures. Even in southeast Michigan, it made it well up into the 50s. Dry weather across Ohio and Michigan right now, but I'm watching a system down towards St. Louis and also another area of low pressure near Minneapolis that are going to bring us some soggy weather to usher in the work week. This rain's going to roll in after midnight, and it's going to be a downright washout of a Monday morning. So when does the rain arrive? Let's break down the timing. Evening plans are a go tonight. By midnight, a few isolated sprinkles will be possible. You can follow along on the timestamp there as we set the clock into motion and help you plan for the start of that work week. If you're a light sleeper, you may hear some of these raindrops on the rooftop. Early risers are going to have a very damp look out the window when you're waking up. By about 6 to 8 a.m., widespread rainfall is likely, so for that commute into work on Monday, you'll need the headlights and the windshield wipers, but at least you won't have to scrape the ice off the car like last week. Heading towards late morning, those showers are going to push off into eastern Ohio. In fact, by 10 a.m., areas along the I-75 corridor and west are already going to be drying out. By your lunch break, dry weather could still be a little bit damp on the roadways, but the afternoon should be much better than the morning. Widespread rainfall amounts likely around ½ an inch. You'll notice a little bit less north and west in Adrian and Hillsdale and a little bit more south of the Maumee River with amounts near to over ½ an inch. After a rainy morning, I think the afternoon's actually going to be a pretty nice feel. You'll see temperatures that'll be in the low 50s, cloudy skies, and not too windy, so those after-school activities going to be nice and dry as well. Here's the hour-by-hour temperature forecast. Starting off the day incredibly mild. The afternoon temperatures climb to the lower 50s south of Toledo like Tiffin and Upper Sandusky. Could even get closer to the mid-50s. Tuesday we drop about 10 degrees, but then a taste of winter returns Wednesday into Thursday for our gift of joy at the WTOL 11 studios. It is going to be a colder and wintry feeling day. Weather impacts ahead. A much colder setting midweek, but the long-range outlook into mid-December does trend milder, and this weather map shows us the long-range weather forecast that is expected to feature above-average conditions through the middle of the month. That gift of joy forecast could feature a few snow flurries, temperatures in the 20s. The 10-day does bring us back into the 40s with a warmer trend by the end of the forecast. Michael?
All right, thanks, John. Coming up, the president-elect was in France as the Notre Dame Cathedral reopened. We'll share how his meeting with the French president went. That's coming up after the break. Crowds gathered in Damascus on Sunday, celebrating an end to the Assad family's 50 years of iron rule following Syrian rebels' takeover of the capital city. Meanwhile, President Bashar Assad and other officials left Syria, and their whereabouts are currently unknown. CBS's Wendy Gillette has more.
President Biden delivered his first public remarks Sunday on the collapse of Syria's longtime ruling regime under President Bashar al-Assad.
At long last, the Assad regime has fallen. This regime brutalized and tortured and killed literally hundreds of thousands of innocent Syrians. The fall of the regime is a fundamental act of justice. It's a moment of historic opportunity for the long-suffering people of Syria.
CBS News cannot yet confirm the whereabouts of al-Assad, who fled Damascus as rebel fighters swept across the country and into the capital. State-run media outlets in Russia say al-Assad has landed in Moscow. The dramatic turn of events follows 59-year-old al-Assad's 14-year battle with the help of patrons, Iran, and Russia to keep control of Syria while it was engulfed in a brutal civil war. In cities, towns, and villages all around the Middle Eastern country, crowds celebrated the end of the Assad family's close to half-century in power.
For years, the main backers of Assad have been Iran, Hezbollah, and Russia. But over the last week, their support collapsed, all three of them.
U.S. Central Command says the Air Force has conducted dozens of precision airstrikes targeting known ISIS camps and operatives in central Syria as part of its ongoing mission to disrupt, degrade, and defeat ISIS. And in response to the turmoil, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu ordered the Israel Defense Forces to seize a Syrian buffer zone between the two nations. Wendy Gillette, CBS News.
On his social media site, President-elect Donald Trump wrote in part, quote, "Assad is gone. He has fled his country. His protector, Russia, led by Vladimir Putin, was not interested in protecting him any longer. There was no reason for Russia to be there in the first place," end quote. President-elect Donald Trump headed to Paris for the reopening of Notre Dame Cathedral, meeting with world leaders while there. The reopening comes after a devastating fire in April of 2019. President-elect Trump and French President Emmanuel Macron hugged and shook hands in what appeared to be a warm reunion. The president-elect also sat down with Prince William and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky.
It's an honor to be here. We had a good time together, and we had a lot of success, really great success working together on defense and offense too. And it certainly seems like the world is going a little crazy right now. Yeah.
President Joe Biden was invited to attend the event but declined. First Lady Jill Biden was there instead. Pope Francis decided not to attend. President Joe Biden is said to be considering a wave of preemptive pardons. This is all to protect President-elect Donald Trump's profile opponents from his possible retribution. The candidates for a preemptive pardon could include Dr. Anthony Fauci, who sparred with the president-elect over COVID-19, Mark Milley, the former chairman of the Joint Chief of Staff, and former Republican Congresswoman Liz Cheney. A preemptive pardon is extremely rare, the most famous being Gerald Ford's pardon of Richard Nixon. A federal appeals court ruling could pave the way for a ban on the popular social media platform TikTok. TikTok's petition to overturn the law was denied on Friday. The law requires the company to break ties with its China-based parent company ByteDance or be banned by mid-January. Both TikTok and ByteDance are expected to appeal to the Supreme Court, though it's unclear whether the court will take up the case or not. The search for the person of interest in the shooting of a healthcare CEO continues in New York. Police have now recovered a backpack they believe could belong to the suspected gunman. The backpack was found in Central Park that police believe may have been left there by the suspected gunman shortly after United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson was killed. The manhunt is now spanning multiple states. Police have traced the suspect's movements after the shooting to a bus terminal where they think he left the city.
We have him in a taxi cab, and the taxi cab takes him up to 178th Street and Broadway, which, as we know, is a Port Authority bus center. Those buses are interstate buses.
In light of this shooting, United Healthcare and other insurance companies are scrubbing information about their corporate leaders from their websites. They're concerned about potential copycats as the search continues. Coming up, have you put your Christmas tree up yet? And is it real or is it artificial? We take a look into which tree is the more green option. A new report shows the job market is experiencing a comeback, but it's becoming harder for people to find work. Last month, the U.S. economy added a better than expected 227,000 jobs. There was hiring in healthcare and in leisure and hospitality. However, the retail industry lost 28,000 jobs, and it's taking longer for people who are unemployed to find a new job. The average is now close to 24 weeks, or about 5.5 months.
That is a normal consequence of a job market that was collapsed, came back strong, and is now kind of normalizing.
The jobs report also shows wages are up 4% compared to last year. Americans are spending record amounts online this holiday season. Adobe says from Thanksgiving to Cyber Monday, consumers shelled out more than $41 billion overall. That's up 8% from 2023. $13 billion was spent just on Cyber Monday alone, and that's the highest total ever. Well, if you haven't put up your Christmas tree yet, you're running out of time. But which do you prefer, real or artificial? There's lots to consider, including the impact to our environment. Our Verified team takes a look at which kind of tree is the better green option.
Our sources for this, the National Christmas Tree Association and Carbon Trust. Let's start with real trees. They are nature's carbon absorbers. According to the National Christmas Tree Association, 25 to 30 million Christmas trees are sold in the U.S. every year. For every tree harvested, 3 more are planted in the spring. When recycled, turned into mulch or compost, they can be a zero-waste solution. However, if real trees end up in the landfills, they decompose and release methane. Transport emissions from shipping trees over long distances can also add to their carbon footprint. On the other hand, artificial trees made from PVC and metal are built to last for years, but their production and transportation come with high environmental costs. According to the Carbon Trust, artificial trees have a large carbon footprint due to energy-intensive manufacturing processes. To offset this, you'd need to use the same tree for at least 10 years. If you want to get rid of your fake tree, consider donating it to a local charity or secondhand store. So what's the verdict? The choice between a real or fake Christmas tree depends on how you use and dispose of it. If you keep your artificial tree for more than 10 years, it may be an environmentally conscious option. However, for most people, the Carbon Trust recommends a real tree, especially if it's sourced locally and recycled after use. With your Verified, I'm Megan Brown.
But you know, real trees have those pine needles that make such a mess. Anyway, we're once again so excited to be able to raise money for an amazing cause, St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. This will be our 9th year partnering with this campaign. The 2025 St. Jude Dream Home will be built at Coventry Point in Perrysburg. That's near the high school. The groundbreaking will be in the coming weeks, and the home will once again be built by Buckeye Real Estate Group. Over the last several years, the home has been a zero-cost build, including the cost of the lot donated to make sure all the money raised goes directly to the kids and families of St. Jude. This is obviously one of the best things we do all year, John.
Yeah, very exciting. We're already gearing up for 2025. You know, Michael, I saw a lot of folks with Christmas trees on the top of their cars today. I know those tree farms were just packed today with the weather. It felt more like spring outside, but about as good as you can get for getting that tree. Just hope you don't get one of the ones with the pine needles that sheds, because I'm with you. They smell nice, but they do shed a lot, so you can always just get the fake tree with the Glade plug-in. Nice compromise. Well, the 10-day forecast, it's not going to be a winter wonderland tomorrow because it's going to be a rainy start to the day. Still expecting around half an inch of rainfall, but we do get a cool down midweek with flurries Wednesday and Thursday. Can't wait to see you at the WTOL 11 studios for Gift of Joy Thursday. It is going to be chilly, but we're going to all have smiles on our faces.
All right, everybody, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you again at 11 tonight. Take care.